Hi, I'm Jiayu Wang, an NYU student, and I'm going to talk about the games in virtual market in this PPT. And in the electronic market, seller and buyer and middleman use the internet to do interactive business activities. It's a virtual version of traditional market. And JX Third is a very popular video game in China. Millions of players trading in virtual markets. There are several kinds of trading in JX Third. We are going to use Nash Equilibrium to find some game operator using special activities to motivate players to spend money in the JX Third. Also, we are going to focus on the game between the players by using the Bayesian equilibrium. And first, let's introduce the jazz third. The jazz third is full name is Zhenxia Qingyuan Online Third. It's also called jazz third. It was by the Kings of Season Game Studio. And jazz third applied advanced terrain vegetation rendering technology, lights and special effects in different scenes, and the speech game engine to exhibit a China traditional martial arts world. It combined Chinese poetry, dance, silk culture, traditional music, wine culture, tea culture, and many other Chinese characteristics elements to let players experience a real and magnificent lives in Tang Dynasty. And for the virtual market, because the development of the internet technology, the electronic business is more and more popular. Different from the traditional market, which is limited by the numerous objective factors, the virtual market can offer the buyer a large amount of information source and the quick research to the goods, which satisfy buyers' requirements. The electronic business in virtual markets brings the best convenience and savings their time. It breaks the regional limitation and makes the trade become international. Nowadays, the electronic business is becoming an ignorable trading method, and the virtual markets also become a great important in modern economy. So let's see the game in the J3rd. First is the game between the operator and the game players. The Since the game operator wants the clients to spend as much money as they can in the game, so they are going to figure out some ways to encourage the players to spend money. Based on my research, there are four major promotion activities in J3rd operator encouraged players to spend in the game. First activity is regular consumption reward to players who spend a specific amount of money in the game. Every month, the authority will post the consumption reward list. The consumption reward list has 5 levels, which are 60 RMB, which is about 8.5 US dollar, 120 RMB, which is about 17 US dollar, and 180 RMB, which is around 25.5 US dollar. The and 240 RMB, which is around 34 US dollar. And final level is 300 RMB, which is about around 42.5 US dollar. To get the reward, the player would like to consume quantity money in the game every month. And second is the limited virtual good. The limited virtual good is clearly as its name, which is limited, and it's a virtual good. Since it's time limited or amount limited, the players can hold those goods and selling them after the activity passed. After the activity passed, those goods cannot be bought in the game more. So, if other players want those limited goods, they can only choose to buy from other players. Also, the hunger marketing encourages the players to spend money to buy those limited virtual goods, no matter they truly need those goods or not. We are going to talk about the hunger marketing later. And for the third activity, it is the discount, which is up to 50% off for different kinds of goods. Like for the weapons, it may be like 70% off. Oh no, 30% off. Sorry, 30% off. And like for the dresses, it's around 50% off. And for the haircut, it's video game. For haircut, it's up around 10% off. Yeah. And also there are some other activities uh, in the same time with the discount to encourage the students to spend more. We are going to talk about later. And for the fourth activity is virtual currency back. It's very clearly that which is you're spending more, they will returning more virtual currency to you, and you can keep spending it. Uh, First, then let's start with the regular consumption reward. For the consumption reward activity, it requires players to spending money to get those rewards very clearly. And the specific rule I have discussed it before. There are 5 levels: 60 RMB, and 120 RMB, and 180 RMB, and 240 RMB, and final is 300 RMB. And there are like 5 items, and reach to each level you can pick up one more items, but those items have specific price in the player side. Like for the lower level item it was 5 RMB, and for the upper level item it was 10 RMB. And there is for the final level item it was 20 RMB. So the total value of the 5 items are 50 RMB, and for the players who spending 300 RMB in the month. So here's the graph. So those two are the upper level, and those two are the lower level. If you're spending 60, you can pick up one lower level. If you're spending 120, you can pick one upper level and one lower level. And if you're spending 180, you can get 2 lower level and 1 of the upper level. And if you're spending 240, you can get 4 items, but not this one, only if you're spending 300 RMB. So for the first condition, if the players want to buy the goods, virtual goods, and he also want those consumption rewards. So for the GAMS, which is for the game operator, if he choose to OR, and if he the player spending 60, he gets 60 payoff, and if the player spends 120, he gets 120 payoff, and so on. And for the Gamma B, since he's spending money, and he's spending money to buy the virtual goods, so he gets 0 payoff. But the virtual the consumption reward is extra payoff. So like for 60 consumption, he gets 5, which is the lower level item. And if he spends 120, he gets 15, because there are 2 items, which is 1 up level and 1 lower level, and we add them together is 15. So we can see the largest payoff is 300, and it's natural equilibrium here. So for the game operator to open the consumption reward activity, and for the Gamma B to spending 300 RMB. So next is the second question. For here, we assume if the player only wants the reward but nothing want to buy in the game more. So if the player can choose to buy the virtual goods, and he can also sell them, but selling price is so only the original of the 80%. Because JS3 has a credit system which is for the buying, for spending money in the game more. You spend money, you get the credit, and those credit can be cumulative to spend to exchange some very rare equipment or the item. So, in the common sense of the GSR players, the credits was 20% of the goods. So the selling price is only 80% of the original price because the player who bought the virtual goods has get the credit. So therefore we can list the equation or the matrix. For 60 RMB, we times 0.8 and plus 5 and minus 60, which is minus 7, and for 120 it's minus 9, and for 180 it's minus 16. We can see, except for the 300 RMB, the more player spending, the more player lose. So it's not very clever to spending money to buy the goods to get the consumption reward. So there's another way, which is to buying from the other players who want to sell those consumption rewards. So we can list in here like for the player B and player S. The player B wants to get the consumption reward, and the player S wants to sell the consumption reward, and the player S wants to sell the consumption reward because the consumption reward doesn't mean like 50 RMB to him. It only means very a comparatively lower value, which is we assume is beta S, and the payoff he can get is the mu S, and for here mu S equal to beta S. And if player S don't need the reward, the value of the VS is very small, which is much smaller than 50 RMB. But if he can sell the reward, the consumption reward to the player B, and the player B can pay 50 RMB to him because this consumption reward was 50 RMB to him, and it's also the market price in JS3. If you want to buy the consumption reward, the whole size you pay 50 RMB. Yes, it's very fair, and so the player S can gain the 50 payoff, and the player S doesn't need to lose to spend money in the game more. And we can see, so for the player B, if he bought from the, or if he don't buy because he want to buy, if he don't buy he will feel sad, he will lose 10. Oh sorry, I just missed. If he don't buy from the player S, he will buy from the game more, so he will lose 10. And so no matter the player S sell or not, if the player B choose don't buy from the player S, he always will lose 10 RMB in spending money in the game more to get those consumption rewards. And if he choose to buy, or if the player S choose to buy, and the player B choose to buy, player S choose to sell, the player B choose to buy, he gets 0 payoff and 0 lose, which is very fair. He's spending the worst money to buy the consumption reward. But if the players don't sell, he will lose time since he always need to spend money in the game mode to get those constant rewards. And for the players, if he choose to don't sell, and he will get the VRS, which is very much smaller than the 50, and the 50 is the largest payoff he can get. And for if the player B choose to don't buy, he also will get the VRS since he can sell it. And for here it should be the VRS. I don't know why I typing it wrong to 0. And so it's clearly that the Nash equilibrium is when the player B choose to buy and the player S choose to sell. The players can get 50 payoff and the player B won't get lose. So for the time limited virtual goods, selling time limited virtual goods in game store in the name of celebrating traditional festival. It's a very common activities for the video games operator, I think, because there are so many festivals like Christmas, New Year, and Halloween. Yeah, that's all. They can finding some points to make some limited virtual goods with those elements like Halloween elements, weapons, or Halloween elements dresses to attract the players to buy them. And it's always time limited because the festival pass the goods removed. So even player don't need those virtual goods, they can hold those time limited goods and selling them to other players who want them after selling in the game mode ending. In the time, the seller can bid a higher price than the price in the game mode to earn the difference. Although the hunger marketing encourages players to spending money to buy those time limited virtual goods, no matter they truly need those goods or not. So many players buy the time limited virtual goods and artificially inflating the prices after those goods removing from the game mode so they can earn the difference. We said the real time price of the time limited goods is FT and the original price is F0, which is surprised when the time is 0, when the activity is not end. So below is the two graph which shows the price trends of two time limited virtual goods, Direnjian and Tingqi. And we can see for Direnjian, the original price is 800 and it keep increasing, and after like 4 months it's increasing to 1000, and then it keep increasing and become lower and increasing and get lower, and then now it has become 3,200 RMB here. It's a very huge increasing. So the people or the players who hold the Direnjian can earn very much by selling it. Since the original price is 800 and they can sell 3,200 now. And for Team J, it's not very lucky. And the original price is 180. It like goes up and goes down and goes up, and now it's only about 140. So it's very sad. You cannot guarantee that all the time limited virtual goods will increase in price. Most of the time they will have very slightly prices change, and sometimes increasing, sometimes decreasing. Nobody can sure that. So for the player B, he can choose to buy the time limited virtual goods in game mode B1, which is action B1. Buy the time limited virtual goods from other player is action B2 for him, and doesn't buy the time limited virtual goods is action B3. For the game designer, he can also choose to sell or doesn't sell the time limit virtual goods, which is DS and S. So here's a matrix, which is very clearly that there are no difference, not much difference. Only 180 minus FT in here, but 0 in here, which the payoff for the player B in here is depend on the exchange of the value FT. So, Bytray is not very scientific since there is another strategy called hunger marketing, which is we are going to considering, and the hunger marketing will affect the market, affect the payoff of the player B. Since from the last matrix is clearly to see that it cannot these two matrices cannot encourage the players to going to buy those time limited virtual goods very crazy, because you cannot the players doesn't know the FT will goes to increasing or decreasing. So we need to consider the effect of the hunger marketing, which is a real cause, the crucial cause that encourages the players to buy the time limited goods in the game mode. So for the hunger marketing, it's exchanging the value of two ends of supply-demand relationship to affect the final selling price and achieve the rise in value, which is the ultimate purpose, based on the quality and attraction of the brand. So hunger marketing means merchant control the production of the goods and the supply time of goods to increase the value of goods. So many goods. The hunger marketing has a few characteristics. First is the goods has a relatively high price compared to the similar product in the other merchants. Second is the particularly quality of goods. Sorry. Third is the comparatively less amount of the retail store. And the fifth is the extensive publicity. The merchants essentially publicize the goods before selling those goods. And the final one is the time of or amount limit of the product. So for the hunger marketing in JS3, in first aspect, for the relatively high price compared to the similar product in other merchants, in JS3, the time limited virtual goods has higher price than the similar virtual goods in the game mode. A set of normal closes in game mode is 200 RMB, but a set of time limited closes in game mode is 280 RMB. The higher price brings the customer's feeling of superior and noble. And the particular quality of goods is different from the normal virtual goods in game mode. The time limited virtual goods always have some particular quality compared to the similar goods in game mode. For instance, a set of time limited clothes have special effects. When player wears them, they can use particular expression or special motion which are very cool. However, a set of normal clothes doesn't have such effects because of goods unique. It's hard for the other virtual goods to replace those time-limited goods. Many players buy them for their particular effects. The unique becomes the adventure of hunger marketing. And also the comparative less amount of the retail store. In Jester, there is only one game mode for players to buy the time-limited virtual goods. It enhances the potential value of the time-limited virtual goods because of less goods higher price to attract the attention of the players. The game designer decided to put the virtual goods in game mode ahead of selling time. The player can view the virtual goods in game mode, but they can buy them until the countdown time goes to 0. The countdown time stimulates the curiosity and hunger to the time-limited virtual goods. Also, the game designer put the remaining quality of the amount limited virtual goods to stimulate the hunger of players. The extensive publicity. GSR extensively publicized the time-limited goods before the activity, based on the characteristics of GSR player. The game designer put the advertisements of time-limited promotion in Weibo, WeChat interface, Baidu Tieba, and GSR official app, which GSR players visiting and reading articles every day to greatly advertise the unique charm of the time-limited virtual goods. Besides that, in the game, designer makes as much as possible hot news and related public events about the time-limited virtual goods. Using hunger marketing strategies, the time-limited activity creates the value of the virtual goods, which is extra value. We say it is EQ. EQ. So extra value EQ is from the player's shopping desire and hunger to the product. So Q is player's hunger level. If the player didn't get the time-limited virtual goods, the shopping desire and hunger was not satisfied. The payoff should be the minus, they will get lost, which is minus EQ. So now we can list the metrics. And for here we can see the pure Nash equilibrium strategy for player B, and the game designer is depending on the later price FT. If later price decrease greatly with FT less than 224 plus QT, then B2 is the best choice for the player B, and which is buy the goods. Oh no, sorry, it is sell the goods. Sorry. And if the BFT is larger than 224 plus QT, then B1, which is buying but not selling it. So the virtual goods is the best choice for the player B. And the pure Nash equilibrium strategy is B1S. So no matter the FT is larger or small, the player always need to buy the virtual goods. So FT only decides the player should sell the virtual goods, the time-limited virtual goods to other player or no sell. So the game operator always get the payoff, which is 280. So it's very clearly that those those activities applied by the game operator to earn the money. And for here, we are going to start the game between the game players. So there are other deals between the players which are personal and not supervised by the game managers. One is the, which we mentioned for session, the time-limited virtual goods deal. And another is the game account trading. For time-limited virtual goods deal, the trading of the time-limited virtual goods between the players in the game. The player B who wants to buy the goods need to negotiate the price to the time-limited virtual goods with the player S who wants to sell the goods. Actually, it's a process of the bid and counterbid. One player in the trading of the price of time virtual of the goods to another player. If another player who gets the offering price accepts it, the two players make a deal. If another player doesn't accept it, another player will offer his price to the player who wants to buy it, and the players continue the process until the trade success or fail. So for the player B and player S, they all has the base price of the limited goods, which for player S is IS and for player B is IB. And those IB and IS are the personal information for player S and player B. And the player B will first determine the surprise he want to beat, which is PB, and the players always determine his PS, and and we assume the PS PB are uniformly distributed in 0 to 1, which is related to the S and IB. So when PB is larger or equal to the PS, the two players make a deal and the price is P equal to half. Actually it's half PB plus PS. And for YB it's P minus IB, which of the gamma, sorry. The payoff of the player B, which is P minus IB, and for the playoff of the player S is P minus S, and the PS is larger than PB. For every possible selling price based on the personal information, the S are relating to the PS, which is we use the equation FSS is FSS. So we can calculate the expected payoff of the players. We set a probability FB, sorry, which is the probability of the FBIB larger than the PB or smaller or equal than the PB, which in that situation the player can be or the deal can be made. And then we integral the two conditions, which is the deals fail, gets everybody has 0 payoff, and the deal success in the condition FBPB, and then we can get the expected payoff gamma S, and then we calculate the gamma S is like that, and we can also do the same to the player S. We can get player B, we can get the gamma B. So the strategy to make those two players payoff function become largest is the Bayesian-Nash equilibrium. Now we can assume the strategy of players in opening parentheses PSS equal to AS plus BSS, which means the FSS is uniformly distributed in the AS to AS plus BSS. Also, we assume the strategy of player B in opening parentheses PBIB equal to the AB plus DBIB, which means that BIB is uniformly distributed in the AB to the AB plus BBIB. Then we can use the value of the delta FPS and the FVPB to calculate the gamma S, gamma B. Here's like that. Then we can get the gamma S and gamma B here. And to maximize the payoff of the player B and player S, the best strategy is to optimize the linear function, which is to let the delta gamma S delta PS equal to 0 and delta gamma B delta PB equal to 0. Then we doing the derivative and we can get the equation for OPS and the equation of the PB. It's like that. And then we can put the equation of PS and equation PB back into the gamma B and gamma S. It's become second order equation, and we can doing the maximization to get the value of the AB and the CB and AS and CS which is for the maximized gamma B and maximized gamma S, and we put those ASBS or SAS and ABCB into the PS and PB. We get in here, and we can get the PS star and the PB star, which are the best response. Best strategy for the player B and player S. It's also the best response of the linear Bayesian equilibrium. And we can also set the boundary of the model. So it looks like that. So only in the boundaries, the player B, the player B, sorry, the player B and players can make a deal, and outside the deals fail, and they need to restart a new process. Okay, thank you.